Good morning, card community. It is RJ. Time for another video. Today, I want to do a face shout out real quick. I am talking about my trip to Cooperstown on Saturday. I went to Cooperstown as I do annually, and I do three things at Cooperstown when I go there. One is I always go to the Hall of Fame, of course, and end up shopping at the gift store. So I'll show you some items at the gift store pretty soon. Also, stop off at two other places. One is a bookstore. There is a bookstore, and I'll show a book I got there, and I'll show you the name of the bookstore. I just pulled out the book mark that has the name on it. I also go to one card store, that is Yastrzemski's. If you ever go to Cooperstown, Yastrzemski's is the best card store, mostly because it's a real card store. It's like going to my LCS. They got a lot of awesome stuff there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here, flip it around to the front, show off all my fun stuff. Then I'm actually going to give you some video highlights of some of the cool things I saw in the Hall of Fame. Primarily Phillies related, of course, but I wanted to get that done. So give me a second and we'll get right to it. All right then, so here we go. As always, we have a random Mike Schmidt item of the day. A random Mike Schmidt item of the day. I have a new book I picked up. Mike Schmidt, Baseball's Young Lion. I have seen this book before, but had never had a chance to pick it up. But there is a used bookstore in Cooperstown that I go to every time I go. It's located down towards the intersection with the traffic light. There's only one lighted intersection in the downtown area. And near that is a used bookstore. And it has a fantastic baseball section. It's got everything. I mean, it is a used bookstore, not dedicated just to baseball. So if you have any topic you're interested in used books, feel free to go. But this is the Mike Schmidt one. Love this one. I hadn't had it yet, so it was great. The second place I go to all the time, always when I go to Cooperstown, is Yastrzemski's. Yastrzemski's is a card store, and it is the best card store in Cooperstown. It's a real LLC, just like my own LLC here, because it's got a dollar bin, a $5 bin, got player collections, all by name, all the big name players by name. It lists them, so it is a fantastic card store. Pick this up out of the dollar bin, an Ichiro flip book. I'm assuming that it's one of those books where if you hold there and go like that, you thumb through it. You have the images, still images that seem to be in motion. And this one might be him running. I don't know. I didn't open. I don't think I intended to open it. But for $1, getting something dedicated to Ichiro, I thought was a pretty good investment. $1 for that. Another dollar thing I picked up was out of the Mike Schmidt bin, which is a rarity for me. So every card shop, many card shops have a bins of players. Hall of Fame players, cards. I went through another card store up there, went through all their Mike Schmidt cards, and obviously I had everything they had to offer in their dollar bins. But Yastrzemski surprised me this time. I did not have this card from 2005, Fleer Platinum, an insert set called the Decade of Excellence, 15 of 20 DE. I did not have this one yet, just never got around to getting it, I suppose. But out of their dollar bin, I picked up this. And then, of course, when I go to Yastrzemski's, like when I go to my own LCS or go to any show, I'm looking for sets. Which, again, if you go to a show, most people aren't selling sets. They're selling slab cards out the wazoo. Every frickin' table has vintage or modern slabs and autographs. Very few tables have random junk wax era boxed sets. Very few, but that's what I'm looking for. So I got the 1992 Score Rookies, something I hadn't gotten around to getting yet. The only Hall of Famer in the list is card number 4, Jim Thome. Everybody else is a forgotten name or a veteran player. Sometimes pretty darn good players, but no Hall of Famers other than Jim Thome out of about 40 cards. Next one is the 1993 Upper Deck insert set, the Home Run Heroes. They had a Home Run Heroes set in 1992 as well, but this is the 1993 insert version. And then lastly, of course, as I go with every other It's time I stop at a card store or a show. I'm looking for full sets. I was able to get two really nice sets out of Yastrzemski's, 1998 and 1994 Upper Deck Collector's Choice. Again, these are junk wax era. Collector's Choices hold no value, never have, never will, but I love them. They're sets. They're very inexpensive, easy for me to pick up, put on my shelf and display, and actually I love to go through, thumb through these cards and look at them. The Collector's Choice had inside it a 10-card set of what they called Star Quest, Star Quest, 3x5 oversized cards. The Collector's Choice one from 94 is going to have 5 gold signature cards. So I will be opening those up, sneaking a peek at everything and seeing what I pull out of there. So you might want to call that my random baseball item of the day, but it's just the next thing I'm showing off from my trip. The final one is I always go to the Hall of Fame itself and go to the gift shop at the Hall of Fame. Most of the times I don't find things I want at the gift shop. You may find that hard to believe, but I just find it a little gaudy to have so much t-shirts. I don't wear t-shirts a lot. So many t-shirts or sweatshirts or whatever of Hall of Fame on it. So I don't tend to buy a lot of apparel, although I do buy lots of hats when I get a chance. And one of the hats I just picked up, little Hall of Fame logo pillbox style hat. White cap with a blue bin and blue pinstriping. The pillbox style flat cap. National Baseball Hall of Fame logo on the front. And then the other thing I pick up, I'm still trying to complete my set of Hall of Fame yellow postcards. The yellow postcards can be had in one big block if you're starting from scratch. You can get all, I don't know, 350 cards or however many of them or however many plaques are on the wall right now. Everybody has a yellow postcard and you get them in a big one set for like $70 or something like that. Go online to the Hall of Fame gift shop, no problem getting it all in one big block. But then every time they come out with new Hall of Famers, you got to get those new cards, which is what I just did. So I got me a Scott Rowland card, and they're only like $1 a piece. Fred McGriff. I had not yet gotten the Derek Jeter, so I picked that up. And a couple other new Hall of Famers I had not yet gotten. Didn't get the Marvin Miller, the old Union rep. Did not yet get the Larry Walker. Or the Ted Simmons. Those are newer Hall of Famers I had not yet gotten. Come to think of it, I don't think I got some of the other newer ones. I got to add that to my list. I don't think I got the Jim Cott. I got to go back and double check my list. I don't think I have a couple other of the new Hall of Famers. The other one is the variation cards. For those players born in Latin America, they have begun producing Spanish versions, which it kind of intrigues me. I'm wondering if when Ichiro gets in a couple of years, are they going to produce a Japanese version of his cards? That will be fantastic if they do. So this one is a Tony Oliva, but it is his Spanish language variation card. So those are the cards I got. And as I'm sitting here, like I said, I think I should have picked up the Jim Cott variation or card as well, because I don't think I have that one. I'm going to have to update my list, because I did go to my list to verify what cards I needed to pick up, and I don't remember Jim Cott being one of those on the list that I needed, but I'm pretty sure I do. Today's trivia question, if you noticed, I spliced this in there because I filmed this segment twice now, and 2 times I forgot to go through the trivia question, so I'm not going to try and film it over from start to finish. I'm going to throw this in the middle somewhere. So today's trivia question, cool prize up here, a veteran and a rookie from the late 80s. So Gary Sheffield rookie from 1989 Donruss, Gary Sheffield rookie, and a Nolan Ryan 1988 score. Those are your prizes if you could answer this interesting trivia question. Again, playoff related, since we are soon to be in the middle of the World Series, but we're not there yet. Question: 1980 NLDS between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Houston Astros, one of the greatest division series of all time. Many people will say the greatest, because this was when there was a 5-game series, and in this particular case, 4 of those 5 games went to extra innings. So one of the greatest division series, post series ever. Game 5 in Houston. Nolan Ryan on the mound to start the eighth inning. He had been pitching since he had started the game. He's all the way. They're leading 5-2. The the Astros leading 5-2. Um, and suddenly the Phillies rally. They get three men on base, and Mike Schmidt comes up. Mike Schmidt strikes out with three men on base, nobody out. And the three men getting on base, it happened on three pitches. Uh, the one guy when he after a certain getting to a certain count, he singled. The next guy up, first bat, singled, went off Nolan Ryan's glove. Nobody could field it. He got the first. Next guy up, first pitch, he bunted down the third baseline. Perfect bunt. He got to first. Everybody else moved up a base. Happened on three pitches. Name for me the three individuals who got on base to start the Phillies' eighth inning in the 1980 NL Division Series. All right? Email me the correct answer. I will include my email in the description below. You will have today and tomorrow to answer that question, and we'll pick a winner on Sunday, all right? So good luck to everybody on that. Thankfully, I squeezed the trivia question in here somewhere. I don't know where it's going to end up, but here it is. So don't forget it, all right? All right, so having now put the trivia question in its proper place, I'm going to do as I said before. I'm going to show off some of the cool stuff I found at the Hall of Fame. Again, reminder, if you haven't been to the Hall of Fame, try to make it a trip. It's worth it, certainly if you're a baseball fan. And even if you're not a fan of baseball, there's a lot of other things to do in and around Cooperstown. My wife and I stopped at a wine area once. There's the the lake down there. You can take a small short lake cruise. A lot of great places to eat. So go to Cooperstown. But of course, stop by the Hall of Fame when you get there. And here are some couple of things for you to look at that I think are fantastic, especially with those that have to do with the Phillies. So give me a second and enjoy the show. All right, one of the first exhibits you see when you enter the Hall of Fame exhibit area is this locker from Honus Wagner. It's not a playing era locker, it's a coaching locker from the 30s, actually the 20s and 30s when he was a coach for the Pirates. Got a uniform, bat, and such like that. Next to that is the Doubleday Ball. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. It's part of the reason it's in Cooperstown. Okay, in this little glass case and wooden box, you find a baseball, really old baseball, that is said to have been found in the field where Doubleday invented baseball back in 1839, and has since been lauded as a ball that he actually used, although there's absolutely no basis for that fact. It's just a ball found in the field at the time. As a big fan of the Hall of Fame, I'm thrilled with this little display of the first class of Hall of Famers. Pause if you want to try and guess all the names. But here you go. Back left to right, and then front left to right. Wagner, Alexander, Speaker, Lajoie, Sisler, Johnson, Collins, Ruth, Mack, and Young. One of the things I liked about the Hall of Fame exhibits is that they often featured every single pennant winner ever, which meant they had a display of members of the 1915 Phillies team, but they no longer have that. This is the first year I could find a little display homage to the 1950 Whiz Kids. Hats, cleats, uniforms from some of the great guys. The hat is Jim Constante's. The cleats belong to Richie Ashburn. I always like to go to the Hall of Fame and find things that I actually own that are also in the Hall of Fame. So in this display of pop culture items from the 70s, you'll find that little electronic baseball game down there. Now, I'm not sure if that's original. I think the one I have is actually one of the remade ones from back in the 90s, but at least I have that game in my possession. So something I have is also in the Hall of Fame. Of course, the real reason we like to go is to find those artifacts related to our favorite teams or players. So here you have a bat, the Adirondack bat with the little red ring around it that was used by Mike Schmidt in the game, and a hat worn by Steve Carlton in the game. So, I mean, that's really why we come, is to see these fantastic pieces of history. And these obviously are two of the greatest Phillies of all time. And the Hall of Fame does not just honor Major League Baseball, it honors all forms of baseball. For instance, this uniform in the middle, the blue one, came from the 2014 Little League World Series, worn by the local Philadelphia entry that included that female pitcher, Monet Davis, as a star pitcher. This is her uniform from the 2014 Little League World Series. But certainly we know it most for the artifacts surrounding baseball. This is one I came across I don't recall seeing before, but I'm sure it's been here a long time. This was the cornerstone at Ebbets Field, they say. I have to assume it's the original. Kind of looked like a concrete or plastic reproduction, but I'm going to trust that it's the original Ebbets Field cornerstone for when they tore down the stadium up in Brooklyn. And it is not just the players and people in the on-field or behind-the-scenes activity. It's also a Hall of Fame for writers and broadcasters or announcers. So in this particular case, this is the little snippet showing and honoring Harry Kalas, longtime Hall of Fame and wonderful broadcaster for the Philadelphia Phillies. This is where you'll find his information. And a little shout out to a couple Phillies who made the Hall of Fame just because of certain random feats. This here is a little section, little window dedicated to unassisted triple plays throughout the years. And has a little bit of thing of Bill Wamsgans, who was the first one to do it in a World Series, or the only one to do it in a World Series. But there's Eric Bruntlett for the Phillies did it in 2009, and his image is the one on the video screen too. And of course, every year something special happens that the Hall of Fame wants to make sure it immortalizes by taking a piece of something or somebody from that game. So this here, if you look at the little picture in the center, the cleats are those worn by Michael Lorenzen, the Philadelphia, long reliever, essentially, who started the game because he was needed to spot start and threw himself a no-hitter. Very nice. And as the playoffs wind down this year, it looks like it might be a rematch of the Phillies and the Astros. I can't promise you that, but I'm hoping. But I take umbrage from this display from last year's World Series. The Astros are everywhere. And what do the Phillies got? Bryce Harper's helmet up there in the upper right and the bat next to it from Alec Bohm. That's all we get. Out of all that stuff, that's all we get. I mean, I want to tell you guys something about this. I think it's up. Sorry about my little rant there. Getting back to the displays that are current, this one talks about former playoff happenings, and obviously the jersey right there in the big middle is Roy Halladay's jersey. He wore this jersey during the 2010 season, specifically his first postseason start, where he threw a no-hitter against the Cincinnati Reds. Fantastic. Of course, we come to see the plaque gallery. I did not take any pictures there. Everybody's seen enough of it. But we come to see our favorite players as well. And this here is a great representation of my man, Mike Schmidt. This is an original oil painting by artist Leroy Neiman. These are the kind of reasons you will go to the Hall of Fame, people. So I hope you enjoyed all of that because there's so much more to see if you get a chance to go there. Please do so. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that little display of Hall of Fame stuff. A lot of great things up at the Hall of Fame. Obviously, I'm a huge fan because I am a baseball-only collector, baseball-only YouTube guy. So the Hall of Fame is my mecca, so to speak. I make it a point to go there, like I said, once a year. I hope you enjoyed all that. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. Don't forget the trivia question. We'll do a recap on Sunday. And I got one more great video, great showcase for you this coming Friday. So check back again on that. More great trivia prizes in store for that. Appreciate everybody tuning in, taking time out of your busy day. I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching and take care.